Hi everybody, I just wanted to give you a real quick rundown of some of the changes in the new version of Blackboard. We moved from Service Pack 6 to Service Pack 8, and while there are some functionality differences, for the most part it's really just a visual change, and it's designed to make your workflow a little bit easier. Now in this session I just wanted to do a really quick 5-minute rundown just so that you're not really surprised when you go in and think that you're missing content. You shouldn't be missing anything, and almost everything is where you would normally expect it to be on the page, but I did want to show you at least a couple of different things so that you're not completely thrown. So when you go into the login page, you're already going to see that this looks a little bit different, but you know, it runs the same way that all login pages do. You just go ahead and put in your password, and now you can see that the visual look of it is obviously very different here. Now, the first thing, the only area I think that they've really moved from one place to the other are these tabs. This My Institution and Courses always used to be on the left, now it's on the right. That threw me the first time I went in, and now I don't even think about it. So, and I've only been in probably 5 times, so it's really not a big thing at all. So I wouldn't worry about it. You get used to it pretty fast. You do have your My Institution tab. All of your modules are still here. You can access your courses down here if you like, or you can just click on courses and you will go ahead and see the list here. Now I'm just going to show you the Blackboard tutorial, which uses course buttons, and then we'll take a quick look at the fall classes so you can see what they look like. So when I click on here, the first thing you're going to notice is you will see a quick setup guide. And what this new version does is it gives you a lot of customizing options, and it gives you some pedagogical tools to set up your course that they didn't really offer before. So the first option here, you can go ahead and change a course description here if you like, since we don't default that at Fontbonne, but you won't be able to change the course ID. That's going to stay no matter what. So if you click on Choose a Course Structure, this is one of the changes that they've made. They give you different template options that has a focus on activity. There's a focus on communication, focus on content. This is systems, you can ignore that. And then a focus on time. And you can completely ignore that and go the way that you've always done it, and that's perfectly fine. But let's say you have a class that focuses a lot on case study. If you click on that, you can see that it gives you a pre-built template that is structured based on courses that use a lot of case study. So it's got case studies, brainstorming, applying theory. Let's say you like some of these and you want to apply it, but maybe you don't want them to necessarily blog about it. You can apply this and then just delete that part of the menu. So these are very customizable. Once we get closer to the term and we start talking about that, we'll get into that a little bit more, but just to let you know that that's there. You can also choose a course theme. So if you decide that, you know, my class is kind of boring and I want to include lavender or gold or whatever, you can go ahead and apply that, and it gives a very different look and feel to your course. You can go back and change this. Anytime you decide that it's not really working for you, or it's too busy, or you just didn't like it, or it doesn't look professional, then you can go in and change it and you're fine. Now, your last section here is learning about your course, and while we have tons of training materials and opportunities here, if you do want to access this area, these are specific videos and handouts just to the Blackboard system in general, so you can always, if you want to just look at a little more information about your content area, it's just a way to build that training right into your setup guide, so you can access it if you want. Now this is set up to show every time I get into my course, which is going to be really annoying after a while. So if I go right down here to the bottom and I click Hide Quick Setup Guide, I can apply the changes, and I'm never going to have to see that thing again when I log in. If you change your mind and you do want to access it again, however, go ahead and scroll down, and you will see in the control panel, which has always been in the same spot, all of this wording is exactly the same. But if I click on customization, I'm going to see Quick Setup Guide here. I can click on that, I can see the screen again, and I can go ahead and make those adjustments. The only thing as far as wording that has changed in the control panel is teaching style. Remember, this used to be just style, and it's basically the same area, except this first, it's got this course structure, which we looked at, these different focus areas. It's got that involved, let's see, it's got that, it's got the course entry point, it's got the course theme. So the things that you saw in the quick setup guide, a lot of them can be found here. You can change your menu style, you know, all of those things can be done the way that they've always been done. So that's probably the only functional change of something that you would actually want to do in class that you can't find right away. You will see that there's a new Home tab here, so if you click that, it will just automatically take you to the course entry point. And the only other big difference that that may confuse you a little bit is that it almost appears as though my edit mode is off, because I can't see my two little drop downs and the little arrows that point up and down so I can move my content around. And the reason for that is that it didn't disappear, but it won't appear until you actually roll over the area that you want to change. So when I see on my Start Here button, I've got a little drop-down menu right here. If I click on that, all of my options are still here. I can also drag this and drop it down to different areas just as I did before. It's just that these items won't appear until I actually roll over them with the mouse. So just be aware that that's probably one of the bigger changes. One of the things I have noticed, just as a heads up, if you have buttons and you are using subheaders, not too many people use that. Usually it's in the template. But if you have buttons, the subheaders show up really, really strangely. Like you see Fontbonne Resources and Student Resources. And I'm going to take a look at Blackboard and see why they're doing that. But what we did for the fall template is we just made it a menu, just a text-based menu, and that takes care of all of those problems. So let's take a look at a fall class. You can take a look at any fall class here. Okay, go ahead and click on my class. I can see the quick setup guide showed up again. Okay, so just to give you an idea, that's why the template looks different. If you are in options, this is not different for you. You're very used to seeing the structure. The color and the general look is a little bit different, but this is how your menu has always looked. For traditional, we've always used buttons, but that's changed around a little bit because of, you can see the kind of funkiness with the subheader, and so we just changed that around. So now you can see that Fontbonne Resources is really more just a title, Student Resources is a title, but all of these things are the same the way that they've always been. Okay. Everything else is pretty clear, so go ahead and get started on things, and then if you have questions, obviously always give me a holler. I will go ahead and set out some face-to-face training dates, some webinar dates, and some materials with actual screenshots so that if you get lost or confused, you can certainly resource those. All right, thanks everybody.